Okay, this is a grade 8 reach back, 4 questions, one from fractions, one from integers, and 2 from chapter 10 that we just finished on algebra. So the first question says 1/5 plus 2 1/3 divided by 5. Now, of course, there's 2 operations in this expression. The first one we have to solve, according to BEDMAS, would be our division. So I'm going to bring down the 1/5 plus, and I'm going to solve this division, and then I'm going to just keep it right underneath where it was to begin with. So I'm going to change 2 1/3 to an improper fraction of 7/3. I'm going to change it to multiplication like I was told when dividing. And instead of using 5, I'm going to use the reciprocal of 5. Now 5 is 5 over 1. So its reciprocal would be 1 over 5. And then when I have that, I'm going to now multiply my numerators to get 7, multiply my denominators to get 15. And instead of having 1/5 plus 2 1/3 divided by 5, I got 1/5 plus 7/15, which is what 2 1/3 divided by 5 is. Now that I have addition, I'm going to find my common denominator of 15. 7/15 will stay 7/15, but 1/5 as an equivalent fraction is 3/15. Now that you have them as common denominators, keep the denominator, add your numerators, and your final answer will be 10 over 15. But in lowest terms, since both are divisible by 5, in lowest terms, your answer will be 2/3. So 10/15, or in lowest terms, 2/3. Your next question gives you a integer BEDMAS question. It says 3 multiplied by, and really inside there is a multiplication sign, but we don't write it anymore because we know a number next to a bracket means multiplication. -8 plus 12 plus -12, all of that divided by -2. Well, if I think about brackets first, what is -8 plus 12? It's 4. And then we would have 3 times 4 plus -12 divided by -2. 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus -12 divided by 2 will be 0 divided by -2. And any number divided, 0 divided by any number is still going to be 0. So our final answer is 0. In our next question, we have a distributive property question. So there's 2 ways you could solve it. I'm going to solve it using expansion, but you could have divided both sides by -2. So -2 times x is -2x. And -2 times -3, not positive 3, but -2 times -3 is a positive 6. So my constant's actually positive 6 equals -20. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides to get rid of my constant. -2x equals -26. Divide both sides by the coefficient of -2, and x will equal a positive 13. That's your solution. Your last algebra question says 5 is equal to -12 minus 1/3 of x, so your constant is -12. So in order to get rid of it, I'm going to add the opposite, which is positive 12. Remember, when you're left with a -1/3 of x, it's best to put your negative sign in your denominator, because then when I do the next step of multiplying both sides by -3, I end up with x equals -51.